Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another exciting episode of Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness, Pop Demand mod, Italy. Make my goal to change the intro every time a little bit. I don't know how well I'm doing. Probably not well. Anyway, where we last left off, Italy grew. We still got our little area here where we've got our diplomatic tensions going cray-cray, but there's nothing to do about it. So, I don't know, like, do we have to go into diplomacy? No, we could just go to war to acquire cores. And, Brazil will join, but obviously Prussia won't, because they got a truce. So I don't think we're quite ready yet to tackle Austria ourselves, although, looking at it, we do have a better military, so maybe we are. Before I go off and do anything like that, though, what I want to do is modernize our military a little bit, or upgrade. So we've got 8,000 infantry, 3,000 cavalry, and 7,000 artillery there, and 8, 3, and 7 there. So, I think, let me see, because I vaguely remember, no, I thought I built a couple of cannons, but I didn't. That's just fine. One thing I want to do, make sure we don't have any rally points in Europe itself, and we don't. That's good. So this means the forces that I build here won't go anywhere but where they're built, which is helpful. So the first thing we're going to do is even out our artillery, and then we're going to add 2 engineers to each, which then gives us 4 more units left, which means we could do another 2 artillery and another 2 regular, good old-fashioned, I think just regulars is what we want, right? Yeah. Now, Venice is getting hit hard here for military developments, but that's okay. We might as well use these troops to good effect, and getting them built up should be good. Those engineers will help with conquering territory, which is good. And thank you for the comment, whoever left it. I feel bad because I can't remember your name. I'm a horrible person, and I do apologize. But thank you for leaving the comment. I pretty much always forget to build engineers. I don't know why. I'm just like, we don't need them. Which is dumb, because we do, obviously. So, yeah, we're going to be rectifying that, which is good. That'll have our military units tip-top ready to go. And I wonder how long that truce lasts for. Can we find out? Show wars. You have a truce with them until 1882. So we got a while before we get Prussia in on the war with Austria. And as tempted as I am to get Brazil involved, I don't think they're going to help. Plus, we also got to remember we got Denmark and Belgium to worry about. They'll more than likely join in the war, so that won't be fun. I really should figure out something to do with these 3 guys. But I guess just sitting there making sure nobody rises up is good enough for now. People are getting along just fine in at least one of our provinces, it seems. Well, that's good. I'm glad at least one province has people getting along just fine. A local political deadlock that has persisted in one of our states since the last election has been resolved in a compromise across party lines. With the compromise reached, the local political assembly can get back to work. Locals are taking to the streets, celebrating the event as a great victory for democracy, and recalling those immortal words by Friedrich Schiller. Joy, beautiful sparkle of the gods, daughter of Elysium, all men become brothers when your tender wing lingers. Where your tender wing lingers. I was like, when? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, rejoice, or truly something particular. I think we'll just go with that. Lose some consciousness. Get people maybe not being as radical. Although, really, my ultimate goal is to get state capitalism, which is a fairly radical idea. So, swings and roundabouts, I guess. We're just doing what we can. Whoa, research. That's a good thing to do. Okay, so we're still a ways off of kind of the critical navy stuff to help us, advance our navy. What else could we do? There was one thing I wanted to look at. I guess that revolution and counter-revolution, that might not be a bad idea, just to get Diplo points and influence up. We don't really need another max focus. How's our industry? Our industry's looking pretty bad. I mean, I don't want to poke holes at anything, but our industry could definitely use some upgrading. Even commerce could really use some upgrading too. I guess really the timeline we're waiting for is machine guns in 1880. So we got a couple years. Might as well hammer out some of these old techs that we just haven't got to yet. Perhaps naval professionalism. I don't know how much actual fighting we're going to be doing with our navies, though. They're kind of more of a landlocked nature. Well, let's take a look, shall we? And ultimately, we're going to be getting ready for the big European war, which should happen. Now, it's not necessarily going to be, Prussia, Austria, and Italy against France, Russia, the UK. It could be any number of great powers sided together. So taking a look at it, I mean, we could have Belgium involved in a great war. It's entirely possible. But taking a look at our position, we're in a pretty good spot, really, for a European conflict. Not much is going to happen in the Mediterranean, one would hope. What we kind of need to just focus on then is a defensive navy for the Mediterranean, which means we don't have to worry about, building up massive amounts of ships. Really, we just need a bunch of big ships and some screens to be able to hammer whatever transport fleets and whatever any other nations send to us. So I guess naval professionalism might not be a bad idea. Get the organization up, maybe even get decision-making too, before 1880. So we'll give that a try. It's not really going to help us, except in the hypothetical situation of fighting a naval battle, which probably won't happen, but I'm standing by my decision. Regular clothes. We're producing regular clothes, though. Aren't we? Let's go to the factory section. We're producing regular clothes. We don't have a lot of fabric, because we don't have a lot of cotton. How much do we need? Current stockpile 15 demands 37. Woof. Okay. So we need to find cotton. Now, around the Horn of Africa, we got a little bit of cotton there. We got a little bit of cotton there. So that's 2 wars we'd have to go to get that. At least neither of these guys are all that involved, I don't think, with major powers. So we're clear there. I know I already looked at you. We got cordial and neutral everywhere else. So it should be okay to take those 2 spots. And we've got an army sitting here ready and willing, waiting to go. So that's a potential. What about Ethiopia? Neutral everywhere. They are partially westernized, though, but they should have, a lot of good stuff. So if we were to go and, say, justify a war, we could make him a puppet or demand a concession. What we'd want is a concession, but if we were to do that, we would need to find... Okay, so Ethiopia has no cotton, so it really wouldn't be worth it. For cotton, that is. I mean, there's definitely other things we could look at. I think that's owned by Portugal, so that's out. Although, there's no reason why we couldn't go to war with Portugal. Oh, hello, you've got cotton. Let's take a look at the political map. So we got Gombe, which is already making cotton. Kano, oh no, wait. Hadija. So we would want Sokoto, Kano. We would get grain, fruit, cotton, and grain. We got any more cotton kicking around here? I mean, obviously, once colonialism or the colonization of Africa starts, we can snag Kuka and probably Mundu relatively easily. Same with Gemena. I mean, hopefully into here too. So perhaps, if we take a look at the map, my dream situation, we'll see if this actually works out though, is to, I mean, we could aim to just get as much of Africa as we possibly can, but I don't think necessarily that's a good idea. I think we should grab what we can, but not necessarily focus on conquering the entirety of the continent. If we can take a strip, right, like the Congo, Sokoto, and just kind of draw, you know, fill in the blanks in between, that would be a good section. It might mean a war with Spain, but I'd be okay with a war with Spain. Or I guess we're trying to get them into our sphere, so I wouldn't be okay with a war with Spain. I'd much rather trade, I guess. What are they producing here anyway? Goats and wood, so it's not necessary to get that. But for that to work, we will need the eastern sections. So we might as well snag one of these and work towards the other. And I think Galeti would be the better bet. Just in that case, heaven forbid we manage to not get Majertine, we can still connect up our colonies. So let's do that. Mogadishu. Neutral, neutral, all across the board. Establish a protectorate. And 15. That'll put us at 18. That's safe. Military's ready to go. We've even got a general who's a pretty darn good general, if I do say so myself. Fleet's looking pretty good. So, one thing I want to do before I get started again, we're like a third of the way through the episode, and we've barely advanced time. I did get these set up last time. Beautiful. Okay, one thing I am going to do, move you there. We should have no more problems with rebellions, I hope. There we go. So now we can tick some time away. We've got a goal in Africa. We got our European military getting more modernized. There we go. We got some clothing coming in now. That's all we had to do. Just had to make sure people were knowing that we're going to be expanding, and then everyone was like, okay, that's fine. We're good. Now, another thing that I want to do, I really want to get Lombardia, obviously, so I'm going to remove this focus. I'm going to let it tick to October, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, hey, let's increase tension. Now, I'm not sure how much that dropped off. Honestly, not that much. That'll come back up, and once it hits 100%, maybe the conditions for it will fire. I don't really know. We'll find out. Let's get an engineer group there. Perfect. We are going to start running into supply problems, so in a rather embarrassing blunder, several of our soldiers in the uniform of Galeti been caught while trying to sneak across the border. What are you talking about? We didn't have anything to do with that. They were on vacation. So, yeah, we are going to run into supply problems with this army. As you can see, provincial supply, I mean, technically, even in Genoa here, it's not the best. So I think forts will help that. Our excavation team, working in the Valley of the Kings, has uncovered a hereto undiscovered tomb and the mummified remains of an Egyptian high priest of the 19th dynasty. The interior of the tomb is rich in decoration, and the discovery is an enormous success for our Egyptian expedition. Orphans rejoice! I like that. I like the free research points, too. That's good. Yeah, we're looking all good there. I was not meaning to sit there without time advancing. A million apologies. So looking at it, we're definitely the top dog of the second tier, but it's going to take a lot for us to break into the top 4. And I'm thinking, really, there we go. That's all that had to happen. This just has to fire up. So we'll see how many people support our side. Belgium has decided to join the side of Austria. That sucks. Okay, artillery down there. Engineer down there. And then it should just be a nice even split yet again. Another engineer, another infantry, another artillery. Another engineer, another infantry, another artillery. We've got mechanized mining. That is exciting. Everybody's basically backing out, and I would bet... Okay, well, here we go. Let's take a look. France is strongly inclined to support Austria. Okay. What do you want? We could liberate a country from Austria, if you would like. We could liberate Bohemia and Bavaria. I mean, that would be pretty interesting, right? We could really cripple Austria. And they'll join in on that, so let's do that. There we go. That got you on our side. And it looks like... Oh, well, the UK's there. So... Would you accept that? No, you wouldn't. Okay. So I'm thinking this thing's not going to fire. I kind of hope it doesn't, actually. This is a war we can't win. Why did I bring Bavaria in? We're not going to be able to beat the UK. Or maybe... What is this? Uruguay. South America. Uruguay. Increase opinion. How about that? There we go. Because I have a feeling Prussia strongly supporting us isn't going to work while they have a truce. I just could put a whole big old kink in my plan here. We got everybody we need there, right? We got one engineer unit somewhere in here. Yeah, so second engineer unit. Come on. Wunderbar. Oh, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So, we're going to have to balance these. And we will take the bigger army. Send you there. 5, 2, 4. 5, 1, 4. This isn't really coming up even the way I was hoping it would. Poor military planning, shocker. Still, I mean, as long as these guys are relatively close in strength, like we should have an engineer in each. Right? Yeah, we do. We got some artillery in each. We got basically the same amount, so yeah, okay. You know, I wonder if we're just building a defensive navy, if monitors would actually be a good bet. Because they're just kind of, you know, going to be sitting in our areas, helping things out. I am going to get a this point defense system up, because I think that increases supply. Well, like province supply. I could be wrong on that. Absolutely, you know. So you got one, you got one, you got one. We're gonna need two. And how? What's supply like in Rome? Yeah, we're gonna be needing to split you up too. Well, let's just wait for our engineer to get there, and really we should wait for the two artillery, or the artillery and two regulars. Like that, and then we will balance, and we will select the smaller one and send you to Aquila. What do we got? Crisis solution offered. Austria is demanding we settle the crisis in their favor. Acquire South Triol. I don't think so. Oh. Well, of course they... Well, this is shaping up to be a great war, isn't it? I mean, we can propose our own solution and say, look, we won't do that. You won't accept it. And Bavaria would hate that. Because we're like, hey, Bavaria, if we promise to weaken them, will you join in? Abso-freaking-lutely we will. Okay. We're not going to weaken them. You don't get what we bribed you with. Alright, what do we got? We got artillery. 4, 4, 4, 4. We only have one artillery, right? No, we got another one coming. So, I guess there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put another cannon in each unit that's missing one. Well, then we'll have another infantry to deal with too, won't we? See, maybe with the way this is shaping up, with us being short in artillery here, and there, and that, yeah, what we need to do is get rid of those guys and build 2 more of those guys. Yeah. That should have everything sorted. Closely, anyway. No! I don't know why you think we're going to accept that now. I'm just hoping we can get these units built. So you're fine on artillery, and then we need 3 more. Right, so you can go there. Yeah, so really the limiting factor is cavalry, which is fine, because we'll have our cavalry units with, 2 cavalry. Although, would it be better to have a full cavalry army at this stage? So here's my hope. We can see the French are starting to pile up on the border. Which is a bit of a concern, so let's get a 3rd army up there, and we'll switch this Genoa army to there. Now, at least we've got, some fortifications, although they are pretty crap fortifications. I was not counting on a war with France, that's for sure. Yep, okay, so we are at war with Belgium, or Austria, Belgium, Britain, and France. Right. So, while we're paused, let's take a look at the world. There's not too many colonies kicking around yet. Well, I guess we're planning this too, aren't we? Does that go away if we're at war? It might. I hope it does. Although that'll be an easy war to get involved in if we need to. So, Britain. We could make a play for South Africa. We could also make a play for Belize. Or their other Caribbean holdings before any sort of defensive fleet can get in. I'm imagining we're at war with Canada too. But I wonder, could we take like Jamaica and the Caymans and Belize? Could we do a little Caribbean hopping here? Let's give it a shot. Load in your boats, go into the Jamaica Channel. So that'll be the North American campaign. Our European military campaign is basically, you can go to Venice, because that's the last piece of artillery, and that goes with you. So you can go to Venice, we'll use you against Austria. We'll have our defensive line against the French here, because we don't necessarily want to push in against France, and I'm sure Prussia will do most of that fighting, I hope. And then here's hoping Great Britain just doesn't land. Fort. Really? That's what this thing is called? Or was I just hovering over it? Alright, just making sure that the British aren't somehow involved in the German miners. Alright, good. Yeah, turn around. Go back into nice. I hear it's nice this time of year. 39 to 33. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Get in there. I look forward. Let's meet up there. I look forward to seeing you. We don't have quite the Commerce Raider fleet completed yet. We're on defense. Our supply is not that great. Can we change that? No, we can't really. That's fine. I don't necessarily want to mobilize and screw over my economy, but we can if we need to. Let's check the leader here. No, you're a pretty good leader. Okay. I'm going to want to keep my eye on this. Oh, man. France, what's going on with your army? Worry grants extraterritoriality. What a freaking word. News reaches from Worry that they have decided to allow foreigners to be tried according to the laws of the native countries. Doubtlessly caused by pressure from within the circles of the great powers. These are good news nonetheless. We're pleased. Good. That's wonderful. Combat station training for our navies is wonderful as well. You guys can merge together and go into Novara. Nope, unpause. And this battle's looking okay. Now that battle's going to look okay. This one won't, though. So you stay in Novara. That artillery should be done soon. It looks like Bavaria is actually helping us out quite a bit with Austria, so I'm glad we convinced them to join in. Actually, hold off. We won that battle. So, let's move you there, and then let's select you. Because you guys have been doing some fighting. You know, you're probably in rough shape. We're ready to go to war with them. I want to just micromanage this battle just a little bit. Because these guys, I'm going to want to pull out soon. Okay, so we should be good. Let's get you guys out. And cycle you guys out. That's fine, although I imagine those guys will come in and join in soon enough. So this unit that we were going to use against the Austrians, they're going to be used against the French. In the meantime, let's make sure we get some kind of victory out of any of our wars. Declare war for an established protectorate. We're not going to worry about calling our allies. Load you up onto your boats, gentlemen. Get into the Horn of Africa. Okay, we'll check on this. So which battle was that? That was this one? Good. So we should have an army moving. I want you out. You need to rest. You guys have been fighting like crazy. We're not doing so hot there, but we can probably relieve them. Like so. Oh. The British showed up. What have you got? 4. Oh, 4 and... Yeah, okay. So 8. 8 ships. Versus my 5. That's not going to work. Oh, and we got fresh ships coming in too. Let's turn that off. We'll get another one in there, but Cagliari will just keep producing the ships in their own port. So this is what I was saying. Now, thankfully, you know, the AI, and especially the Brits, they love their wooden ships no matter what year it is. So that's at least a good thing for us as we modernize our weaponry. Of course, right now, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you retreat. Crop rotation in Italian Sicily. I appreciate the advances of our farmers, but you know what? At this stage of the game... Macaran. You're ready? And welcome to the sphere. Welcome to Italy, Macaran. I don't even know where you are. Oh, no, I know exactly where you are. Macaran! That's wonderful. Allied with Afghanistan and at war with Russia. You're in our sphere, but you know what? I don't necessarily want to ally you at the moment and get involved in a war with Russia. Let's send you up in there to assist. And is this looking... Yeah, this is looking as bad as it is. Although their morale is lower. Battle of Navarra, we won that. Perfect. We'll leave you behind and we'll send you ahead. I don't want to use you guys, but we do need to freaking reinforce. Yeah, we're dropping people like flies here. Okay, you get in, and you get in. I know I promised you guys rest, but we got more important things to do right now, like crush the French army. Battle of Turin is nice and successful. And then once these guys come into Savonia, we'll move you out. Just trying to leave the supply problems. Good. We can retake that land. And we can crush the French army there. Now, I'm hoping our good friends to the north assist us here. Whoa! Where did all those French troops come from? I should have been paying attention. You guys are not up for a fight like this. Oh god. Come on, retreat. Just get out of here, guys. Retreat! Oh, the Brits showed up too. Okay, well, at least our army is retreating, and we got you to come down and assist. No, we don't. We got more French troops. Okay, well, we're losing money like crazy too. Thankfully, we've got 9 million pounds in the bank. We cannot act. Good, we got our point defense up, which is going to be helpful. At this stage, let's get some military statistics. We got the time. It looks like we might actually be able to beat back this little French assault up here. So that's good. Let's split these guys up, so we're not taking attrition everywhere. And now let's go check on our colonial ambitions. Get our fleet in, although I guess we could blockade with the fleet here. It's not like they're going to be losing supply or anything. They're close to support ports, which is just fun to say. And whoa, pause this. The United Kingdom has decided to expand our current war by demanding acquire Italian Aden. I don't know about that. That does remind me, though. We have a fleet that had been sitting around doing nothing, so now we need to get all defensive up in here and protect our lands. Now we should be able to go back and grab Honduras, as well as protect Haiti. So that's good. Oh, you want to fight, do you? Okay, we'll give you a fight. Wish I had been paying attention. Rifled barrels, that will certainly help, as will standard bolt-action rifles. How did we... We were winning. And why retreat into... Why retreat into enemy territory when you have friendly territory right behind you? Why? That's gonna wipe that army out. Because you're stupid. Well, at least we're making good progress there. Let's check on this war. And how's it going? Not well. And you can see militarily, we don't really have a chance. 858 to 319. I don't want to give up anything. Italian Aden, they wouldn't accept that. A full-on surrender they would accept. This could have been a bad decision, ladies and gentlemen. This could have been a very bad decision. Anyway, this episode's going long enough, so we're going to have to leave it here on a cliffhanger. Will the Fifth Army survive? Will the Grand Alliance of Italy, Bavaria, and Prussia turn back the vile, horrid hordes that are streaming across our borders? Will we have to mobilize? I think we might have to mobilize, to be honest. Yeah. So current amount of raised regiments, 83 multiplied by 300%. I'm not going to touch it so it doesn't freak out. 4% of our poor strata into soldiers. So 50 brigades? That might help. If we could convince Prussia and Bavaria to mobilize as well, critically, without our allies mobilizing, we might have this. But I'm doubtful. Before I end the episode, let's check. We just got there, so that is going to take some time. And we're marching, so that's going to take some time. Okay, well, that's it for this episode. Thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.